All right, Isaac, here we are.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
I'm good.
What's good? Find the good.
Yeah.
So you're third gen,
Yep.
although your beard looks like maybe second
Got some
generation.
good genetics, I guess. But yeah.
It's a full beard, man. I can't grow that.
Yeah.
You're not gonna give me nothing else to say about that.
What do you mean? Just,
All right. You're part of our third gen,
yep.
and you have also taken the development of growing in your faith very seriously. So why is that?
Why?
Why are you taking growing in the faith very seriously? Why pay attention to it? There's a lot of if you look across the landscape of the world,
Yeah.
and especially in the West, third generation of people taking their faith seriously is
Yeah.
not there. So why are you doing that?
I mean, I think probably across our generation, the norm is kind of, just mess around, go to college, waste your time, do what you want to do. But like realizing that the next generation needs to be ready for the steps to lead, steps to do this. So like there is a need for us to be serious now so that like 10 years from now, we're in your shoes, 20 years from now, whatever it takes. So that there's a need for us to be developing now because it's a lifelong development process. It's not just one day, oh yeah, I'm going to start doing this and I'm going to start leading because you're not going to be prepared. You're not going to know what to do. So I think it's just, you got to start preparing as early as you can. Like just got to see that vision right away.
So seeing that vision right away, knowing that you need to prepare being a leader, that is what you're saying. How did you come to that conclusion? I mean, have you always thought that? You haven't always thought that. I mean,
No.
How did you get to that?
I mean, part of it is just like my development, growing into a man and things like this, and seeing other people around me and wanting to like, go up to a friend and be like, why aren't you fully participating in the church and doing all this? And they're like, well, you're messing around and doing this. So then having my own self-reflection to be like, well, then I need to be fully developed as much as I can so then I can bring it to others so I can like be the standard so that other people can raise their standard as well.
Okay, that makes sense. So part of what we do together is we have a group that loves to meet. We love to hang out.
Yeah.
We love to make jokes. We love to talk about anything in this world.
Yep.
You've mentioned to me, you've given me a bunch of heat because if we schedule an evening, we'll schedule evenings like once a month, right?
Yep.
But sometimes because of travel, international travel and whatnot, I'll skip some. So
Yeah.
why do you give me so much heat for canceling meetings?
I mean, part of it is because I'm just impatient, but like, I think there's a need for the constant, like, continuing, especially with our generation. Everything is getting more fast paced. Our attention spans are getting so much shorter. Like, there's things like that, but also just like, if you miss a month, you're going to probably just forget a lot of things. And I mean, part of it is that doing like a folio or things like that, I'm constantly renewing my mind daily, doing things like that. But like keeping on top of you guys to keep us going further, I feel like. Because if no one is doing that, then it's easy for people just to get comfortable and like we miss a month or something, and then, oh, we'll miss another month. And I could just keep going like that, I guess.
Yeah, you've really been trying to keep us on task to make sure. I love it that you so you mentioned your folio.
Yeah.
We've been pretty big on having your work, but and having your own body of work, in your own words. Why are you carrying that around? Why is that valuable to you?
I mean, it's valuable to me because, like, in a sense, after you finish in your son, like in our church network, you finish your kids' studies classes, you're like out of high school. There's no like real level of studies besides like the equipping time in your house churches. So like being able to have a body of work to work with, a folio is a way just to keep that together. So I like this never really leaves my car, it goes with me everywhere. I always add to it almost daily. I look at it, write notes, things like that. Just like it's a way for me to constantly be working, progressing, developing.
So it fits what you started talking about, and that is you have to take your own development very seriously.
Yes.
What do you have in there? You got to show us what's in there.
I got a lot of stuff in here. So, I mean, more recently I've got this the gatherings pattern,
Yep.
the gatherings paper.
Yep.
So I think this one was really impactful to me because, like, I've been thinking of a lot of ways how I could, like explain how we meet in house churches and things like that, patterned after Acts, and how we have the apostolic leadership. How can I explain that to people outside of the church, people in other church networks in our city? So like this is a very simple way of like it says right from the scripture. Like all the other Western churches, there's no exact scripture saying like this says in the scripture that they met in their homes, they broke bread from the table, they had wine from the table, like things like that. It's just like it's right there. It's so like it connects. And then I've got yellow notepad. Got studies I'm going through. I'm going through James. I've read it, 4+ times. And I've got chapter summaries, chapter keys. I've got a whole book summary.
Wow. So you have a whole book summary of James in there. You have the chapter summaries. That's phenomenal. Do you happen to have the literary design?
Not yet. I'm still working on that. My literacy skills weren't that good in high school, so I got to figure out more what the literary design is first before I write out a James literary design.
Yeah.
So I'm working on that.
Okay.
I'm going through Encyclical 6, this one here.
Okay.
And then I've got notes on that.
What's the title of that one so everybody
Shepherding
knows?
and Counseling and Sustainability.
Okay.
So that kind of focuses on the whole way of having elders in your church and shepherding the whole church network, and how like counseling and things, like regular traditional churches will send people to counseling if they have issues in their homes, their families. They're going to send them to outside counseling. This kind of grabs together that the church is the family. They should be shepherding and counseling their families, the whole church. So it's all one family. Things like that. Those ideas are really good.
Boy, did a great job articulating the core argument there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I've got my First Principles book. Just finished book 3, Participating in the Mission of the Church. That one was really good. I've been through the series probably twice, but like just going through it again, being able to also like, again, describe it to other people. I think always constantly going through things like this helps me be able to just write down more ways I can talk to people about it. I can share it with other people.
Okay.
Constantly like
So
that.
you're 19.
Almost. But
Almost 19.
Yeah.
All right. Almost 19. Boy, your beard makes you look older than that, dog.
Yep.
All right. You've been through the series twice, you said, or at least twice.
Yeah.
Why are you going through it again? Most people would say, I've done that Bible study, man.
Yeah.
I've done that Bible study. I don't need to go through it again. So
I mean,
why are you doing it again?
I guess, you go through it in all stages of your life, I guess, because, obviously the words aren't going to change, the scripture isn't going to change, but your thought process is going to be completely different. Even a month from now, could be a week from now, could be different. The way your life changes, and always like, because when I started this in freshman year, it's like, I was not thinking about the things I'm thinking about now. I was in the middle of like starting high school, doing all this, having fun. Like there's a huge like life shift that's happened. So being able to go back through it, change your work, things like that, because you should have your life should be changed by these processes.
Yeah. All right. What else you got in there? Anything else you got in there you want to talk about?
I've got my session 6 from this book, which I printed out. We talked about it last night, actually. I'm going to share this at house church this Sunday, but...
Oh, so you're going to bring, why are you going to share that in your church?
I think it's impactful to bring it, because it'll, first of all, be bringing a discussion to our church meeting, and like it's impactful for me to set an example for our generation in the church, bringing work that other people might be motivated to bring work that are my age, younger, like my younger brother or people like that. Then also having leaders to build off what I'm saying so I can get more insights, could change it, write it better, things like that. Always just building it better.
So you've got a couple other things. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
What else you got in there?
So I've got
It's like a food menu, or what is
this
that?
is a planner. So I've got
Just 2024 planner.
Yeah. Just calendar
good.
things that's going on. And then I've got the Paradigm Curves paper. I haven't read into it much, but like just always, I like to keep resources with me. So if I get bored, I can just read through them. But
Yeah, if you have time or something.
Yeah.
All right. So, you grew up. You were born in this
yeah.
way of doing church, right? You're a third generation of doing. In fact, you're a third generation of doing church in this way.
Yeah.
So I got to ask you, what would you say is the way of Christ and His apostles? How would you explain
The way of Christ and His apostles.
Yeah. Well, how would you?
The way of Christ and His apostles, I think it's partially the way how we're doing church, the way how like the faith, the gospel progresses over all of the world. I think that the way that Christ and the apostles did it. The apostles went out, Paul and them, they created churches, and the specific ways they did it is how we're carrying out our churches today. Bringing to just, like I said before, reading the scripture. It makes sense. We're not reading one thing and, oh, we need to do this in tradition. Like, we're reading right what the passage says, and we're building that into our lives, into our churches, things like that. And then also bringing in the way of Christ and apostles. Like, they were leaders, they were networkers. So we have church network leaders, we have apostle leaders that are leading our churches, having things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. How's it been growing up in
I think it's definitely, I'd say it's probably an advantage to some other people because, I've just been born in this, like, a lot of those ideas, they just make sense in my head because I've only been around this. I'm not around, like, a Western tradition. So it's like, why don't we do this? Why don't we, like, sit in pews and line up and look forward? It's like, because I've been around it, I know exactly. But then being able to have that angle to share to other people, like, just learning more, developing myself more is being, like, helping me explain it to other people better, I guess.
Okay. Well, you've taken your development very seriously. And that is a model for so many other people, like you've said. And it's inspired a lot of your own third generation people, and I think second generation people, to up their work as well. So I look forward to more hangout times and more developmental times with you. But before we end, Isaac, I've got to make mention of this brick behind us.
Yes, sir.
Anything you want to say about
it? Not just the brick, maybe this whole lounge, but yeah.
Okay, so you gotta. Why do you have any insight into this brick or the rest of the lounge? What do you want to say about your work here?
I mean, you could just I sponsored you for this whole lounge, just saying. But like, just I did pretty much. You had a vision for this space in your garage. You wanted to have a place like this to have work on your stuff, have gatherings, have meetings, have a lounge. So pretty much my dad and me brought that vision to reality. It's right here now. So pretty much did all the work, led the project. There was a lot of other people that helped, of course. But
there was your dad and you and your girlfriend.
Yeah.
We can't leave without mentioning your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Did a lot of help on this on this behind us. So it's pretty fun. We're one big family of families.
Yep.
All right. Good to have you on. See you next time.